Good morning to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here. It is August 27th, 2021. Happy Friday to you. Got a lot to discuss today. We're going to take a look, of course, at Ida and the implications here for a major hurricane and all of the significant impacts that will bring to parts of the central Gulf Coast. We're going to also look at Tropical Storm NOAA in the eastern Pacific, because that's also going to affect people along the southwest coast of Mexico, the Baja Peninsula, and that vicinity. Before we get started, this is not a good way to start the day. This is a tweet from Jack Sillen. Here we are 48 hours out from major hurricane impacts along the U.S. Gulf Coast, and there seems to be a major outage of NOAA data. The NOMAD's model server, it's probably an acronym there, is down, and the NHC's FTP, the File Transport Protocol site for the ship's data, and none of the NOAA planes have reported data in the last 4 hours or so. And this is not good. These are the different sites that we're trying to see, and they're timing out. Our tracking map isn't loading because it pulls data from the background there from NOAA. So I hope they get this fixed soon, and it's just a bug or something and nothing nefarious going on. This is bad timing. You need the data. Look, it left the plane. This is leaving from Lakeland, Florida, and then it just kind of went poof. The data, and here's some of the code if you guys know coding. Yes, it's frustrating. So please, hopefully we get that working. At least for now, I have the Hurricane Center website up, and as of the latest information, let's refresh this and hopefully it'll work. It's a little slow there, but 5 a.m. I was hoping that the 8 a.m. intermediate would come out, but nevertheless, we're tracking Ida here, passing through the Cayman Islands right now. In fact, let's just, and you look, there it is. You can see the little dots back and forth. It's loading, so still having issues with the NOAA servers. What a bummer. Well, Levi Cowan's site is working fine, so we'll take a look at the satellite imagery this morning. Nice satellite animation. There's Ida down in the Northwest Caribbean vicinity, or I guess we could call it the Northern Caribbean, Cayman Islands, and that area towards the western part of Cuba. Not very well organized yet, but it will. Once it crosses over and gets into the very warm Gulf of Mexico over here, it's going to really start to strengthen, and it's going to be a big, big problem for our friends here along the coast of the central Gulf Coast. There's Nora in the eastern Pacific. This too will cause some issues as well. We also have a couple of features trying to develop out in the Atlantic. Not having much luck with that, although both of them are high to medium chance. None of them are going to impact land. Even if this develops, it's going to turn out to sea, it does look like. This is already headed out. Yes, there's more energy over Africa, but everything is days and days away. This right here, Ida, is our big concern. This is our second concern. And if you're in Mexico, that's your first concern, so we're not going to ignore that. But that's the big story, really, Ida, as opposed to these other features out in the Atlantic. So let's see if this finally updated. We'll refresh it. And let's see if the text version of this works. Used to be really easy to find that up at the top. Well, they've made it harder to find data until the text version. There it is. Tropical Storm Ida. This is all 5 a.m. What a bummer. Maybe they just haven't updated it yet. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So 7 a.m., we got Nora updated off the coast of Mexico, so I'll show you that real quick. Yes, this is going to be a problem headed up along the coast of Mexico and then into the Gulf of California. This might spread some moisture up into the desert southwest of the U.S. So that's something we're going to want to keep a watchful eye on going forward. All right, so let's go back and take a look at the track map, at least from the 5 a.m. advisory package for Ida, if that'll load, and nothing is loading. This is just, and look, even no, I don't have it pulled up because it wasn't loading. This is just a real disaster, literally, that we cannot access this stuff because something's going on with the background servers. I can't even click on it. It just won't let me. See, it's not even highlighted. This is a problem. We got to get this fixed. Whoever's in charge, call them up, Oh, there it is, finally. It's just, I guess they've reverted back to an old Coleco or something to put everything on. Haha. It is frustrating, and hopefully they are well aware of it, and the guy's not ignoring his text messages Anyhow, seriously, this is the landfall projection somewhere in southeast Louisiana. But you know as well as I do, that is for the center. The effects extend well beyond that center. And as such, storm surge warnings are coming. Storm surge watch is up now. We're waiting for the graphic to load so that I can show you the peak surge. I can't sit here and ad lib all morning, but I do know the values, so I can at least ad lib and tell you what the values are. There's a good area, let me slow down. There is a solid area of 7 to 11 feet in parts of southeast Louisiana over to portions of the western Mississippi coast. That is probably going to go up. It's not going to shock me if at the end we see values near 15 feet for some areas. Lake Pontchartrain, 3 to 5 feet of storm surge. So the surge pushed out in front of Ida is going to be a very big problem. And if it comes in at night, which sick and tired of them making landfall at night, that is even more problematic because, it's just harder to see, harder to deal with things for people that did not evacuate. There's a very short window for people to evacuate today and through tomorrow, and then conditions are going to go downhill in a hurry. It's a big weekend. It's the last weekend of the month. It's payday, and a lot of people want to go down to Mississippi and hang out and enjoy life. And the same thing is true for New Orleans. Big cultural city. This is eerily reminiscent of 16 years ago, almost to the day, when another hurricane that had a K for the beginning was knocking on the door. A similar setup overall. Strong hurricane headed for that area. Last weekend of the month, busy weekend, payday weekend, you name it. We'll see. Hopefully lessons were learned. A short time stamp to time window. Sorry. I'm tired. The servers aren't working on NOAA's end, whatever. A short window of opportunity to get ready. Very reminiscent of Katrina in those regards. Hopefully the end result will be nothing like Katrina. But hope, we say this often, hope by itself. You cannot just hope stuff away. Hope is not a planning tool. Planning is a planning tool. I would click on these other graphics. Hey, at least that one perked right up for me. The storm surge graphic won't. So we'll take a look at rain. The rainfall, very problematic. 10 to 15 inches that I'm highlighting. Yes, 10 to 15 inches. More than a foot of rain. You sit here and you might dismiss that. I'm not worried about rain. I mean, seriously, the rainfall could be significant. There's the storm surge graphic. Lord, help us all. I hope this is just right now and not throughout this event. So quick, before everything goes to the toilet again. 3 to 5 feet maybe for Mobile Bay, 4 to 7 for eastern Mississippi, 7 to 11 all around over to Morgan City, and then 4 to 7 and diminishing towards Cameron and Creole area. I've got several people that follow my work, great people in southwest Louisiana that I have met. You don't have to worry about this nearly as much as we were thinking in the last couple of days. So I think it's looking good in the areas where Laura made landfall exactly 1 year ago today. I'm going to put a big check mark over here. You're not out of the woods completely, but the risk looks minimal for your area west of the Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge, which, by the way, I've been through there. It's a really neat area. I saw lots of gators. But Vermilion Bay and certainly Morgan City down to Grand Isle, including the metro area of New Orleans, all of Mississippi, you guys, you're going to be on that right front quadrant most likely. Metro New Orleans, big spiral bands coming in. This is going to be a problem. Okay, this is not like Henri where it was not really sure. There's a lot of uncertainty. It's over cooler water. Henri had a lot of bust potential. And it ended up causing a lot of rainfall, which is more than $4 billion in damage already. There's almost nothing stopping Ida from strengthening. You understand that? Everything is there. So don't second guess this and say, well, you guys got Henri wrong, so you're going to get this wrong. Nope, we're not. The people that know what they're looking at, we know what's coming. So please take this seriously and don't sit there and just wait and see, because that takes time off of your clock where you could be getting ready, and it just makes it harder for you later when you do have to scramble. You might get stuck in traffic. There may not be gasoline. It makes your blood pressure go up. And then you might have problems related to that, and the ICUs are full, and just, my goodness, it's like, what the heck is going on? So please take this seriously. All right, Real quick on the modeling, and then I'm going to get out of here so I can start driving. GFS from the 6Z run this morning brings it up across western Cuba. You see it there, headed towards southeast Louisiana as a formidable hurricane, very close to Morgan City. But that puts all of this area to the east of there in that right front quadrant. Onshore flow, the angle of attack in here, it's going to push a lot of water in there to that little corner. Mississippi Sound into Metro New Orleans, possibly putting stress on the levee systems. Lake Pontchartrain, a south to north wind. Mandeville, Louisiana, I'm talking to you. Get ready. You could have a significant storm surge. You could. That's different than it's guaranteed. The potential is here for a very, very big disaster. Then Ida moves inland from there, slowly. See, it comes on in. This is 54, let's see, that's 72 hours right there. And then for the next 24 hours, that's all it moves, 72 to 96. It's a slow mover, going to dump a lot of rain. And then it gets up towards Tennessee. You remember what happened there recently. All that orange that you see, all of this vorticity and energy, that's what that is. A lot of rainfall headed for the mid part of the deep south there, the Mississippi Valley. Yuck. The Euro, 24-hour increments on this. There it is as of 0Z last night. Moves across western Cuba, very similar to the GFS. Into the Central Gulf, rapidly developing, powerful hurricane, a little bit farther to the west. Maybe, just a few miles, and then it makes that turn. The risk here, potentially, for a worse disaster is if that turn happens just 20, 30 miles earlier, and it comes where you get New Orleans right in the right front quadrant of that core. Or it's just over New Orleans and you get all of Mississippi in that right front quadrant. Then those storm surge values become ridiculous. Maybe on the order of 20 feet, depending on how strong this gets. It's not set in stone. It could drift just enough at that last minute. Every mile is going to make a difference in this situation. It could get a little bit more to the west, certainly, and threaten those areas that Laura impacted, but I think that's less likely than an adjustment just slightly to the east. 10, 20, 30 miles could make a huge difference for that big population area that we call the Crescent City, and then all of the beautiful cities along the Highway 90 corridor in Mississippi, the coastal Mississippi area. One great resource, National Weather Service, when the NOMAD servers and so forth are working. You go here, you click on the area that you're interested in. Maybe you're down here in Louisiana. At least it's starting to pop up quicker. You can put your zip code in, whatever. You click on this, you got all this information here. You say, hey, I live in New Orleans or close by. You click on New Orleans. This is what I want you to read right there. The hurricane local statement especially. That's your best friend. When people want to know, hey, Bob, what's supposed to happen? You're following that hurricane stuff. Read that, and you'll be an expert. You'll know everything you need to know. I'm serious. Read it, forward it to your friends and family. Yes, it is lengthy. I'll click on it. I'll show you. But it is chock full of information on all the areas that are affected and what to expect. It's got different bullet points. The starting, where we are now, what are the impacts, all kinds of good stuff. Read it. It'll really help you be ready for what's coming. Real quick about my plans. I'm leaving Wilmington, North Carolina soon. I'll eventually end up over here along 85 to 65 down into Gulfport tonight. And then tomorrow, my team and I, consisting of myself and a couple of other of our supporters that are going to come and help me, we are going to set up equipment probably from eastern Mississippi. I don't know how far east yet, so we'll just call it eastern Mississippi, throughout the Highway 90 corridor, right along the coast, then making our way around New Orleans and vicinity. We'll certainly hit Mandeville up here. I think that's where Mandeville is, close to there. And then somewhere along this corridor into southeast Louisiana, more than likely stopping at Morgan City. We may go farther west towards New Iberia. We'll have to wait and see. But this is the main area that I'm concerned with about getting our equipment. What do I mean by that? If you're new to what I do, unmanned cameras, these remote cameras so we can watch and see what's happening. Weather stations, whether it be pressure sensors or anemometers or both. We're going to set all of those up in this virtual fence that we call it. to capture the impacts, to show you what they do. It is a crowd-funded project. That's how you access it. It's not a subscription. It's a crowd-funded project. In fact, I made a video so that I can just show you this video or point you in the direction of it. If I can get my, there we go. Right here. I'll put a link to it in the description. Getting the most out of your Patreon Hurricane Track Insider experience. So instead of explaining it here, you can watch this video, check it out, and it explains the project and how you can get involved to monitor this stuff yourself. It is remarkable. And the interactive map that it all goes on, the dashboard of all the cameras, the interaction of the chat, it's incredible. So I invite you to check it out. And it's, helping the science too. I am a physical geographer. That is my degree many years ago now, and I study hurricanes. There's very few people outside of traditional meteorology that really study the impacts of hurricanes, and that is what I do. So that's how we fund it, in case you're interested. I think that's about it. Hopefully NOAA gets everything sorted out on their end, and we can get back at it, tracking Ida, a very potentially dangerous situation shaping up. Don't forget, I'm on Twitter at HurricaneTrack. You're watching on YouTube. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel. Share with your friends, family, colleagues, whatever. It's great to have you. I do appreciate it. I'm going to be leaving here shortly. I'll be streaming live for our crowdfunding supporters today, and then everybody from the vehicle cam starting tomorrow. I'm Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you again from Mississippi tomorrow.